the program.
Good morning, Dr. Yogesh Singh. This is Rajesh Mathur.
Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Very good morning.
You probably may not remember, I'm a member of Academic Council of DTU. And last year I attended a couple of meetings chaired by you.
Okay. Very
So good morning,
nice.
everyone. Sorry to interrupt. So good morning, everybody. We have now gone live on Facebook. Very warm welcome to all the participants of the online international conference on geography and the digital, intersections and conflations, being held at the Department of Geography, Delhi School of Economics, University of Delhi, as part of the centenary celebrations of the University of Delhi. We take this opportunity to welcome our chief guest, Professor Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Yogesh Singh, who have kindly agreed to inaugurate the conference. Thank you, sir, for being here. Our guest of honor, Mr. Agendra Kumar, Managing Director, Esri India, was unable to join us today for unavoidable circumstances, but we have here Mr. Rajesh C. Mathur, Senior Director, Strategy at Esri India. We are also delighted to have with us Professor Rob Kitchen, Maynooth University, Professor Daniel Miller, University College London, and Professor M.K. Arora, Vice Chancellor, BML Munjal University, as keynote speakers of our conference. And our plenary speakers, Professor S.B. Sujit from ISAR Bhopal and Professor Sarabjit Singh from BML Munjal University, who also kindly agreed to be part of our closing plenary session. We are also happy that each of the chairs of each of the sessions accepted our invitation to be part of this event. This is indeed a proud moment for our department to bring about 64 scholars and participants across the globe, right from USA to Europe, from England, France, Italy, Finland, to Southeast Asia, China, and not just across the globe, but across multiple disciplines, not just human and physical geography, but we have here anthropologists, we have molecular biology and computational biologists here, we have software engineers, and quite a number of disciplines are being represented here to share their research and engage in an enriching intellectual discourse on digital geographies. It reaffirms and strengthens the 100-long years of the University of Delhi's belief in and vision for outstanding scholarship and excellence, and standing true to its motto, Nishtha, Dhriti, and Satyam. The conference finds its motivation in the backdrop of COVID-19 pandemic that has transformed our lives immeasurably. Some of these transformations, we believe, are here to stay. We are of the opinion that the new experiences and new ways of living are primarily digital in nature, with intense and multiple intersections and conflations of the online and offline worlds. These intersections and conflations of the digital and the geographical draws our attention to the distinctions between real physical worlds and online digital worlds that are blurring, interconnecting, and at times even getting eroded. Simultaneously, they create an immersive and embodied experience of the internet and geospatial technologies that connect people, places, and everyday lives, not only recreating the way we imagine spaces and experiences, but also our own presences. Thus, it is no longer about real-world experiences centered around one's physical presence, but a world shaped by a presence that is mediated by and through geospatial technologies, the internet, new media, artificial intelligence, machine learning, opening possibilities of breaking the barriers between the physical and digital spaces. The above context, in all probability, creates opportunities for developing new methodologies, theoretical and analytical registers that further blur disciplinary boundaries. The three-day event we envision through the 3-day event, we shall be able to provide some exciting possibilities to ABAP scholars to deliberate upon these above mentioned intersections and conflations. I now request our head of the department, Professor Suresh Chandrai, to welcome everyone on behalf of the department and give his opening remarks for the conference. Professor Rai, over to you.
Thank you, Professor Aprajita Day. Respected dignitaries, on behalf of the Department of Geography and my own behalf, I would like to extend a warm welcome to our chief guest, Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Yogesh Singh, guest of honor Mr. Agendra Kumar, Managing Director, Esri India, our keynote speakers, Professor Rob Kitchen, Maynooth University, Professor Daniel Miller, University College London, Professor M.K. Arora, Vice Chancellor B.M. Muljal University, and participants of the online international conference on geography and the digital intersections and conflations, organized by the Department of Geography, Delhi School of Economics, University of Delhi, as part of the centenary celebration of the university and Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. The organization of the conference is a reflection of the hard work of my fellow colleagues and the commitment of the department to be at the forefront of geographical research and inquiry. Over the years, the department has produced scholarship in terms of research conducted both by faculty and research scholars, exploring the many intersections between digital technologies, particularly geospatial technology, the internet and new media digital platforms, space and society. In the course of the 3-day event, the conference will be hosting scholars from across the world, from PhD students to renowned professors, who will closely examine and engage with questions on the relationship between digital technologies and concepts in the discipline of geography. Interestingly, geography has been one of the earliest disciplines that quickly adopted digital technology in geospatial techniques and applications. Sir, in 21st century, this is the era of paradigm shift in geography. From there on, the discipline has actively been involved in broadening the scope of digital geographies, engaging with different disciplines and themes, which is equally reflected in the many themes, panels, keynote address, and plenary sessions of the conference. In a way, the conference emphasizes the ability of geographers and the discipline to work across disciplinary boundaries and explore the core strength of geography, spatial thinking, and its use and application in digital technologies. These areas of specialization broaden the scope of the discipline in terms of research and employability, resulting in the further professionalization of geography. Sir, once again, I am thankful to you for sparing some time to accepting our invitation as a chief guest, and thank you very much, all the participants. Thank you very much for joining this conference.
I now request Professor Ashish Kumar Shah to introduce our chief guest, Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Yogesh Singh, and guest of honor, Mr. Rajesh Mathur. I would request our participants to mute themselves. Kindly mute themselves. Thank you so much. Over to you, Professor Saha.
Good morning, everybody. It is our great pleasure to have with us Professor Yogesh Singh, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Delhi University, in the International Conference on Geography and the Digital Intersections and Conflations. Professor Yogesh Singh assumed the charges of Vice Chancellor in October 2021. Prior to that, he was the Vice Chancellor of Delhi Technological University, Director of Netaji Subhash Institute of Technology, Delhi, and Vice Chancellor of Maharaja Sivaji Rao University of Baroda, Gujarat for 2 terms. He received his MTech Electronics and Communication Engineering and PhD Computer Engineering degree from National Institute of Technology, Kurukshetra, Haryana. He has supervised 23 PhDs in the area of software engineering. He has more than 250 publications in international and national journals and conferences. He authored and co-authored several books, especially to mention software testing, software engineering, object-oriented software engineering. Professor Yogesh Singh participated in Yale India Leadership Program in Yale University, USA in 2011. He is a member of Executive Committee of National Assessment and Accreditation Council, NAC, with effect from October 3rd, 2019. He is also an independent director of Gujarat State Petronet Limited, Gujarat State Petroleum Corporation Limited. He appointed as additional director on the board of director of Gujarat. Professor Yogesh Singh is the chairman of governing body of Information and Library Network Center, Gandhinagar, and Autonomous Inter-University Center of University Grants Commission, New Delhi, Ministry of Education, Government of India. Professor Singh was the chairman, Central Regional Committee, All India Council for Technical Education, Bhopal. He was member of General Council of National Assessment and Accreditation Council, NAC, and also the member of Governing Council of Association of Indian University. The last few months that we have had Professor Singh with us, we have discovered that he is a person with cheerful disposition and highly encouraging. Under his able leadership, the university has surely begun a new journey towards the excellence and achieving better heights. Now I request our chief guest, Professor Yogesh Singh, Honorable Vice Chancellor of University of Delhi, to deliver the inaugural remarks. Professor Singh.
Good morning to all of you. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Professor Esri Rai, Head Department of Geography, University of Delhi. Mr. Rajesh Mathur, other distinguished panelists, keynote speakers, respected faculty members from University of Delhi, my dear delegates and students. Good morning to all of you. I am very happy to be here in the inaugural ceremony of International Conference on Geography and the Digital Intersections and Conflations. As we all know, University of Delhi has completed 100 years on May 1st, 2022. So we have just completed our 100 years. And this conference is also organized as a part of the centenary celebrations. Congratulations to all of you. Delhi University is a very reputed and important seat of learning. 100 years of academic excellence, 100 years of glorious performance. When we say performance, performance in all three dimensions: teaching, research, and outreach activities. And also 100 years in the service of nation and humanity. So on behalf of University of Delhi, I welcome you all in the inaugural session of the conference, which is part of the centenary celebrations. And when I was going through the brochure and bulletin of the conference, I came to know that many sessions are very, very important and important sessions, like cities and smart urbanism, localizing technology and governance. The multiple smart cities of the contemporary Indian minds. And you know, in the title also there are three words: geography, digital intersections, and conflations. And if we combine all them together, then and only then we will have the holistic view of the issue and concepts. Right now, this digital technology has changed many aspects of our lives. Without using WhatsApp, without going to social media sites like Facebook, Instagram, and electricity was invented, it changed the complete civilization. And after the invention of electricity, this digital word, digital technology is the second biggest innovation, which is slowly, steadily, impactfully changing the way we live, way we think, way we deliver, way we work. Things are changing at a very faster pace. And when it comes to the smart cities also, as we all know, Government of India is also taking steps to have good number of smart cities in India. Smart cities which are based on artificial intelligence and machine learning techniques. And right now, in the last 3-4 years, what we have seen, the impact of Google Maps now. Everyone is so comfortable. It is so easy to use that everyone is using Google Maps and taking advantage of that. It is not only the directions, it is not only the destination, but also the time which it will take, the positions of the traffic jam, and so many other things. That's why this geography and intervention of digital technologies in geography has changed so many good things. YouTube, we all know, we all use YouTube. Recently, YouTube advertised in the leading newspapers on March 8th, 2022. And it was written on the advertisement that creative entrepreneurs on YouTube help to generate 6,83,900 full-time equivalent jobs. One platform, one portal who is generating so many jobs, full-time jobs, and also contributed 6,800 crores in the Indian economy in 2020. And they say, if you come to YouTube, you will get 200 crore viewers. This is the power of technology, which is changing the world at a very, very fast pace. Again, after 2 months, on May 9th, 2022, they again published an advertisement on all leading newspapers of India, mentioning 63% of users come to YouTube to develop a new skill. It means what? It is not only for entertainment, it is not only for information, but also for skill enhancement and changing the life of so many people. Imagine such a powerful tool. This is one of the tools, one of the application of the digital technology. Before 15 years, and 15 years, we used to do survey on any issue with very different way. Now, forms have made life so easy. You can survey 5 lakh people, 6 lakh people, 7 lakh people, 15 lakh people in 24 hours. This could not have been imagined for these Google Maps and the technology interventions in our life. This new education policy is also focusing on technology creation, because in 2011, Steve Wozniak, who is the co-founder of Apple, he said Indian passion for technology is highest in the world. Yes, he must have said because Indians' presence on technology platforms are very, very high, and now you will be happy to know on whether in Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, we are #1 in the world. So one level we have achieved awareness and usage of technology. But when it comes to creation of technology, we have to take many, many steps in that direction. And the same fellow, Steve Wozniak, said in 2017, I doubt the creativity of Indians to build world-class tech companies. Imagine what has gone wrong. In 11, the person was saying Indian passion for technology is highest in the world. And now he's saying, I doubt the creativity of Indians to build world-class tech company. Reasons are very simple. Because he was referring to the Forbes 500 list of companies where we do not have any tech company in that. China is having many companies. US and other European countries are having many companies that we don't have. But now India has decided to do it. And in the coming, I'm very hopeful that in coming years, we will have good number of tech companies in that, because now Indian unicorn startups number has increased to 100. So in the last 2-3 years, many things have changed for India. Indians have also realized Mr. Abdul Kalam. You know, one project was very dear to him. He used to call it Pura. Pura stands for providing urban facilities in rural area. And he gave so many presentations on Pura as President of India, which is very unprecedented, but he did it. But you know, we could not implement that project in bigger way. Although we do have some success stories of Pura in some districts. The meaning thereby, if we are able to provide urban facilities in rural areas, that will be real India. That is what is expected from the policymakers. It means what? We should have fiber connectivity, road network, tap water, sewer system in every village, and we can have cluster of 5 or 10 villages to have a good hospital and quality education. And the most important is at every village, we should have infrastructure for zero liquid discharge. So that, you know, zero liquid discharge. Then in the whole area, in the cluster, we should have the applications of AI and IoT in agriculture. Because if we want to double or triple the income of our farmers, solution lies in the technology, artificial intelligence, and IoT in agriculture, and Government of India is taking steps. And because this infrastructure a farmer cannot afford, government has to provide like canals, like electricity they are providing. IT infrastructure and IoT infrastructure is essential for the welfare of Indian farmers. And I'm very happy that this Industry 4.0, which is focused on AI, machine learning, machine learning, data science, and so many other associated things where our people, Indians, are doing extremely well. And many new companies are coming up in these areas. And we hope that we have the capability and capacity to assume leadership in some of the areas of Industry 4.0. Although we could not take part in Industry 1, 2, but to work very hard, us will not forgive us for our tardiness, negligence, and complacency. But I am very hopeful that things are improving, and our scientists, engineers, Government of India, policymakers, universities are working in that direction. And this conference is a step in that direction. Geography and the digital intersections and conflations. I hope that the new methods, new techniques, new things will emerge, and then we will implement in India. Because we are in the process of implementing and having smart cities in India based on AI and its different various applications. And I'm thankful to the organizers for inviting me in this conference. All the best, good wishes for the conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Yogesh Singh, Honorable Vice Chancellor, for your views on this and start the ball rolling. And we are really happy that you could attend this and deliver the inaugural lecture. So now I move on to the next our next speaker, our guest of honor, Mr. Rajesh Mathur. Due to some unavoidable circumstances, Mr. Agendra Kumar, Managing Director of ESRI India, could not join today's inaugural session. However, we have with us Mr. Rajesh Mathur, who is the Senior Director Strategy at ESRI India Technologies Private Limited, a subsidiary of Esri Inc., the world's largest provider of GIS software. Prior to that, he has held the position of Vice Chairman of the Board of President of the company. Mr. Mathur is an electrical engineer from IIT Delhi. He has attended general management program conducted by University of Michigan, USA. Mr. Mathur has been associated with the IT industry both in India and overseas for more than 40 years. He has handled assignments in general management, marketing, corporate planning, and international operations. Prior to his current assignment, he has worked with Wipro, IDM, and DCM data systems in India and USA. As the head of ESRI India, India's premier GIS products and service company, Mr. Mathur spearheaded the growth of GIS deployment in India. He is actively involved with various professional bodies with the Indian GIS industry. He is currently advisor of FICCI Committee on Geospatial Technology. He is past president of Association of Geospatial Industries. He is also former president of Indian Society of Geomatics and was also honored with the ISG Fellowship in the year 2012. He has also been honored and acknowledged by the India Geospatial Forum by conferring Lifetime Achievement Award in year 2012 for his pioneering contribution to the Indian geospatial industry. May I now request Mr. Mathur to deliver his talk on geospatial awareness and role of geography. Thank you, Mr. Mathur, please.
Thank you, Professor Saha, for your kind introduction. It's indeed an honor for me to be here today and participate in the centenary celebration of Delhi University. I was particularly happy to learn that Delhi School of Economics is a co-host. You see, my daughter is an alumnus of D School, and prior to that, she studied at Delhi Shri Ram College. She now teaches economics at, I think, the oldest women's college in Delhi, Indraprastha College. So it's indeed a privilege to be here in an event which is hosted by his alma mater. Okay, I like to share my screen to show some slides. And okay, can you see my slides?
Yes, it is. Could you please make the full screen?
I'll do that.
Okay.
Sure. How do I remove those images? You told me earlier today, and can you tell me again how I get rid of them?
Okay.
Oh, good. I got rid of it. Thank you so much.
Thumbnail video.
Good morning, everybody. Professor Yogesh Singh, faculty members and students of Delhi University. It's indeed a privilege to be here this morning with you and talk on a subject very close to my heart, geospatial technologies. You know, I was trained to be an electrical engineer at IIT Delhi, but ended up setting up and running a GIS company for close to 30 years, that is ESRI India Technologies. This morning, I'll speak about the geospatial awareness and the role of geography. It's a very vast term, and I don't think I can do full justice to the subject in 20 minutes, but let me make an effort. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you would agree, our world is facing serious challenges. We have the issue of climate change, we have the issue of severe droughts and floods in different parts of the country, population growth, which is leading to resource shortage, oftentimes social conflicts. And most important of all, we as human beings are probably responsible for some of the damage that is being caused through human-induced climate changes, among other things, and also pandemics and so on. However, the good news is we still have time and the opportunity to take corrective action and make our planet more sustainable. What we need to do is relook at the whole ecosystem, change our priorities, and last but not the least, make a major commitment to our future and that of our future generations. Essentially, what we need to do would be addressing the human-induced climate change. That would take several initiatives like saving the forests, wildlands, decarbonizing energy, looking at renewable sources of energy, lower greenhouse gases effects emission. And as the VC talked about agriculture. So we have to create sustainable agriculture, optimizing the use of both water and fertilizers. And technology, of course, has a major role to play, as the VC rightly mentioned. Essentially, what we need to do is have a better understanding of our planet Earth and see what are the initiatives we need to take to correct the situation where we are in right now. To make it happen, to acquire understanding of the planet, the geographic approach and use of GIS technology would be very essential. Maybe I'm talking to the professional geographers, so I'm sure you would agree that geography provides both the science and the language. Science because it helps us in understanding the laws of the nature. It helps us in understanding the causes and the effect of various human interventions and also acts of nature. And it provides us a language, a vehicle to communicate those changes to the public at large, to visualize the complexities and understand from those complexities the dynamics of the whole planet. And there are really three key drivers, if you will. First of all, are the environmental systems. With geography and geospatial technologies, we can understand the whole ecosystem. We can understand the effect of, for instance, deforestation, effect on loss of biodiversity, leading to climate change and sea rising, which of course can inundate several cities and even countries. We also have a better understanding of various initiatives taken by us for infrastructure development and also industrialization, energy generation, so on. What is the impact of some of those interventions on our environment? And last but not the least, various social systems, be it the population spread, urban migration, the health of the people, which is very often getting challenged by the environmental issues. Geospatial technologies and geospatial awareness provides us the framework to not only understand these dynamics, the interdependence, the interrelation between these three building blocks or pillars, if you will, and arrive at a strategy. Geospatial awareness is essentially the key outcome of this whole technology application. And that's what the geographic approach is all about. It's a more innovative, a much better way of not only thinking, but also dealing with various challenges, because it integrates not just the geographic science, as I mentioned, the rules of nature, the impact of various interventions, but also the plethora of data that we receive from different sources. Data captured by, for instance, satellite imagery, drones, LiDAR, aerial photographs, also live feeds coming in from various sensor devices, environment monitoring, and so on and so forth. And applying geography to create analytics platforms. It's basically the way of taking a more holistic approach, applying the science of geography and taking a more integrated and holistic view of the data that we are getting. Also establishing the spatial correlation between different events, how deforestation causes soil erosion and landslides leading to flooding. And going beyond that, also building inundation models. These are which communities are at risk when the floods occur, or for that matter, when the sea level rises. It helps us the ability to collaborate and bring in all stakeholders to take a more informed decision making. It's truly an inclusive and a multidisciplinary process, which, as you would agree, impacts not just the citizens, but the governments and all other stakeholders, and not just the current generation, but the generations to come. GIS addresses the entire value chain of the whole process, or right from data capture to decisive action being taken to build a comprehensive strategy. Data capture can be done in multiple ways, as I mentioned earlier. The traditional way of satellite images, and then aerial photographs, LiDAR, and so on and so forth. Also, a lot of live feeds coming in from there, putting it together into a geospatial platform and viewing it maybe on a satellite image, a current image, analyzing the situation, doing the change detection, how this area looked 10 years ago, what is the change that's occurred because of maybe urbanization or deforestation or conversion, land use conversion, and so on. It also helps us in using this information to build predictive models. For instance, in the event a flood occurs, which areas are at risk, what will be the level of flooding? So creating a complete inundation model in a 3D map, analyzing it. It gives the ability to get a better understanding of the impact of various decisions we take, designing new infrastructure, keeping nature in mind. For instance, we often hear about natural disasters occurring in the Uttarakhand region. And environmentalists tell us, and rightly so, that Himalayas are a young mountain, so they can't withstand the pressure that's being created by haphazard infra development. So once we start building our whole design process, keeping nature in mind, we'll probably create a more sustainable planet and prepare for the future. And last but not the least, using this information for informed decision making and action on the ground. So it provides us a complete framework and a complete process, right from data gathering all the way to decision making. What is GIS today? Traditionally, we have seen GIS as a system for managing, storing, analyzing, and applying geographic information. All that is still valid, but today GIS does much more. It's emerging as an integration platform. Somebody mentioned to me a few months ago that GIS is like the glue which integrates various information systems together. It integrates data coming from multiple sources, including data residing on maybe Excel files or word processors, and puts it into a geodatabase, establishing the relationship between both the spatial and the non-spatial component of the data that you're gathering, which gives us the power to analyze the data, take a deep dive into it, establish those patterns based on which we can decisions. And as the VC talked about, smart cities, for instance, is one area where GIS is being used extensively to strengthen the citizen services, but more importantly, for preparing the cities for future growth. It's said that by 2030, 40% of our population will live in cities. Are our city ready to absorb such an increase in the population? Probably not. So with the kind of data that we have today and the data that cities are collecting and collating, we can probably plan for it better. And finally, of course, GIS is also being used as a very powerful communication platform. One example of that, if I may share with you, as part of the pandemic containment strategy, several cities of our country and also departments of health in different states and even National Disaster Management Authority created GIS-based dashboards where they were providing real-time data to all the stakeholders in terms of what the spread of the disease at the city level in localities. They were using GIS to make time series maps so they could visualize the impact of interventions, for instance, containment zones being created, how the new cases went down over a period of time wherever those corrective actions were taken. Also analyzing the capacity in terms of hospital beds in the areas where there is a high spread of disease. A dashboard makes sure that everybody is aware of the situation on the ground and has a common operating picture, giving us the ability to solve problems holistically. GIS is also advancing rapidly. See, some of the building blocks of a typical GIS platform would be, one aspect would be the developments happening in information technology, the big data analytics, the cloud computing, also real-time data capture through IoT, AI, machine learning, augmented reality, and so on. Also developments happening in geospatial sciences. For instance, data capture, imaging, remote sensing, and so on. Another interesting development, which has a lot of promise in the coming years, is how GIS is getting integrated with game engines. You know, game engines are the framework to create video games. And as we move into a different world, the integration of real world with virtual world or metaverse, as it's called, this integration will become an extremely powerful tool. It said that geospatial technologies will transform metaverse and vice versa. So all the developments in technology are being leveraged by contemporary GIS and giving us a completely new environment to apply geography, geographic science, and of course GIS. It's also getting interconnected. GIS again, and there are different components of this around. Maybe in cloud platform, you have desktop tools, you have enterprise servers, you have applications and embedded systems and so on. One of the key requirements for applying geographic information, of course, is what I would call Geo Aware Professions. And here I'm talking about not just professionals who are practicing GIS as a vocation, but those who are running different business processes, both in the government and private sector. Forestry officials, urban planners, engineers, and the likes. More and more of them today are applying geospatial technologies as they find solutions to the challenges that the planet is facing. Be it lowering greenhouse effects, responding to epidemics, building a more inclusive public transport system, preserving natural areas, and so on and so forth. A number of areas, these professionals are embedding geospatial technologies into their workflows and taking a more sustainable approach towards problem solving. And of course, all this is really transforming organizations in a big way, creating a whole new kind of intelligent infrastructure, various apps, portals for to both access data, discover data, and consume services, share geospatial services in a more federated architecture which is open, interoperable, and allows external entities to build applications to consume the resources available on the platform. Essentially a system of systems, which is integrating various processes, various business processes, workflows, and data sets. ESRI technology, if I talk a little about our technology, ESRI technology, we have essentially three fundamental types of systems. One is the system of record. This is where all the data is recorded, stored, and managed. Base maps, thematic maps, subsurface information, forestry maps, sensors data, utility networks, all that would be part of system records. Second is what we call the system of insight, which gives you the ability to extract information from the system of records, study the trends and patterns, apply AI and machine learning to see those trends, and extract relevant information for decision making. And of course, system of engagement, where we are creating applications and solutions to serve a variety of users by way of both application and maps. A true application of geospatial awareness, which fosters geographic approach towards problem solving. We also have today some real advanced analytic capability. Take the image about spatio-temporal. This is very important. For instance, when you're dealing with, let's say, climate change kind of issues, it brings in the time dimension into the whole data analysis. One example I talked about earlier in terms of disease surveillance using time series maps, that is one aspect. Second is change detection, be it in urban India or rural India or forests and all that, seeing how the change is occurring over a period of time. Also through integration with IoT, getting data capture and capturing data real time. For instance, studying pollution levels in a city in a 24-hour cycle, likewise traffic and so on. Also interactive visual analytics to gives you control on the whole data that you're working with. Integration of big data, GeoAI, which is leveraging AI, machine learning, and many other things. Predictive modeling is very important. For instance, one example I gave was in disease management, accident prediction, security. More and more police departments are now working on what they call predictive policing, where you study the data over the last several years on occurrence of crime in different parts of the city, different parts of the state also, see a pattern, use machine learning to see a pattern, identify clusters which are more prone to crime. Also, if you do spatio-temporal analysis, you know what time there's a higher occurrence of crime in certain areas, based on which you create your plans for policing and also do capacity planning, etc. So, number of interesting features fully leveraging the developments of information technology applied to geosciences. It also involves engaging various communities who participate in the whole process. One aspect which I talked about earlier was professionals or organizations who are making use of geospatial technologies, maybe hosted on web or cloud, and location enabling different business processes, urban plan, working plans for forests, road network, road expansion, and many other areas where they are applying this technology to deal with not just day-to-day challenges and problems, but also various business processes and workflows. The others would be volunteers or individuals who are providing support services. Here again, through technology called Geo Hub, we can expose a lot of data and services to these volunteers who can consume those services using mobile phones or tablets or laptops. One example of that in our country is Varanasi city, Varanasi Municipal Corporation created a Geo Hub so that they could expose a lot of relevant data to all those who can participate in creating solutions and services around it. Startups, NGOs, cities at large, academia, and so on. All of them can access this data, create simple applications, and make them available to others on the same platform, serving both communities and in organizations. You know, you would agree that we are living in the digital era, and we're plethora of data, petabytes of data is being collected as we talk from using different sources. It's said that 80% of the data has a geographic component, but is it really being used? Probably not. Probably 20% of this is actually being harnessed. And so a lot of location-based data that we are capturing is probably not being applied the way it should be. And data also we should overlap similar data coming from multiple sources. How do you clean it up? How do you enable the fusion of data coming in from different sources in different forms? Data coming from live feeds, data coming from imageries, data coming in from sensor devices, for instance, water pressure in a pipeline lying underground. So you can determine if there's a leakage, where could the leakage possibly be occurring, and so on. So all this data, how do we make better use of it? How do we use this data to see trends and patterns and carry out analysis to probably take more informed decisions? And this is where geospatial technologies play a major role. They contextualize data both in time and space. You know, one very interesting development which is happening in the GIS domain is integration of BIM with GIS, building information modeling. All the engineering data which is created by the construction companies, by the infrastructure development authorities and all. Now that data contains the engineering information. You can add context to it once you put it into a GIS framework. Then if, for instance, you are building a flyover, BIM will give you all the engineering information you need. But GIS will also tell you where is that flyover located, which roads is connecting, what is the impact going to be on traffic flow in different directions. Also help in building intelligent transport systems to significantly improve the quality of service the citizens receive. So you can really make use of this data, its spatial location component, by applying various other technologies, be it data sciences or AI machine learning, field operations management, field crew management, enabling field workers with more data available on their own mobile phone, etc. Net, it gives us better understanding. It helps us in being creating a more inclusive environment, collective problem solving, and collaborative and participative decision making. So all the stakeholders, for instance, you make a master plan for an area, you expose it to the public at large, and they can view it and they can do some analysis themselves and give their comments on it. So geospatial technologies, as it says, provide some very powerful capabilities to geo-aware professionals. We need to do more, and we as leaders have to help them in assigning priorities, making use of the both technology and data, and applying the geographic approach at scale, so that we don't just serve a department, but serve cities, communities for the betterment of the society at large. Integrating geographic science and holistic thinking into all business process, all working workflows that we have, be in the government organizations or private sector. So geospatial technology is gradually taking the center stage and is really becoming a technology that's integrating many workflows in organizations, especially in utilities, in smart cities, and many other domains. It's taking center stage and integrating various workflows. It's truly acting as a force multiplier in both economic development and also social development, and last but not the least, environment protection. Millions of data sets are being creating as we talk. Data is being consumed on various geospatial platforms, including here in our own country. Enormous amount of work is being done. Billions of people worldwide are consuming those services and helping others in taking a more informed decision. Before I wrap up, just a quick comment on our company's ESR India's education programs to increase the geospatial awareness in academia in the country. And we are really three different initiatives. One, of course, is ESR India GS Academy program, which works at the department level. We work with departments and universities, create GS capacity over there, and help them in conducting GS training program for the students. Institutional program which enables a campus-wide license where everybody can have unlimited access to software. And last but not the least, center of competence where you can develop competence in specific domains, urban planning, utilities, safety and security, any various areas. And that center of competence can be used to spread that knowledge awareness by organizing seminars and conferences and the like. Well, with that, I'll wrap up. Thank you so much for inviting me once again, and I wish the conference a great success. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rajesh Mathur, because in the last moment there was a change and he kindly accepted that our request and step into this to to explain this technology, the advancement in this GIS domain, how the GIS actually creating the bridge between the geography and the digital technology. So this is a nice way. Thank you, Mr. Mathur, for explaining lucidly about this thing, and we are really happy that we could listen to you. So now we are coming to the end of the inaugural session. Now I invite my co-convener, Dr. Kiran Bhairanavar, to propose a vote of thanks.
Thank you, Ashish. Thank you, Ashish. And as we come to an end to this inaugural session, we, the conveners, would like to thank our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Yogesh Singh, for his gracious inauguration of the conference and setting tone to it. We would like to thank Mr. Rajesh C. Mathur from Esri India, the guest of honor for this session, for his address and very important insights into the role of geography and geospatial awareness. We thank our keynote speakers, Professor Kitchen, Professor Dan Miller, Professor M.K. Arora, for joining us during these 3 days. And we would also like to thank our plenary speakers, Professor P.B. Sujit and Professor Sarabjit Singh, for being a part of this. We thank all our chairs for taking out time and agreeing to chair the sessions during the 3 days. And we would like to thank all our participants for enthusiastically sending their papers and responding to the feedbacks from time to time. Furthermore, we are grateful to the Research Council, the University of Delhi, for giving us this opportunity to hold this conference and be a part of the centenary celebrations at the university. Thanks to Professor Esri Rai, the head of the department, for trusting us, guiding us, and being there. And last but not the least, our student volunteers for helping us during the last 5 months to put together this conference. We look forward to these 3 days of deliberation on digital geographies for a productive outcome. And thank you all once again. And we close the session and for tea as of now, and be back at 11:15 a.m. for the first technical session on cities and smart urbanisms. We will be continuing on the same link. So thank you very much once again.